I feel as though nobody really cares about Spider-Man. Not the character, but the IP. The same way that nobody cares about Peter Parker. I just finished watching the new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and have a few thoughts regarding the future of Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man.
When you make a solo movie for a superhero, especially when telling their origin, you generally have to introduce their identity before they acquire their powers. And these are compelling narrative because they show that they are a person first and a superhero second.
So, you got detention.
Tom Holland's Spider-Man has none of that. When I heard that they are going to create another trilogy for Tom Holland, I had high hopes for it. Not because I found the Home trilogy a complete lackluster. I can accept new ideas that has not been used yet on a Spider-Man movie because the origin has already been laid out by Raimi's trilogy and the first rendition of Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield's with a unique creation of the character and the hero. I had high hopes for this movie because we're going back to that. Those movies that made us love Spider-Man. But just like what the title implies, it's not just a brand new day but also a brand new Spider-Man, a brand new idea. And the writers behind Marvel basically wants us to accept that. Accept that the Spider-Man that we have now fights differently, lives differently, has a different circle of friends, can shine in different locations. Like I said, I have no problems with changes with the motive of being more original, producing something entirely new that feels fresh and personal rather than recycled. I love when creators take risks. Raimi's Spider-Man wasn't trying to be like the superhero movies that were released before its time, The Amazing Spider-Man wasn't trying to be Raimi, and Tom Holland shouldn't try to be either of them. Originality should grow from the roots of an identity, not replace them entirely. Because when you're so focused on creating a new version of an IP, you might accidentally leave behind the reason people fell in love with it in the first place. During the Home trilogy, Tom's Spider-Man configure and refigure his newly sets of abilities, like figuring out Iron Man's tech that was given to him, learning to think for himself, and learning to work with others. So you'd think in this new Spider-Man movie, you get a newer and more polished Spider-Man by now whom had tussled with Scorpion, have relationship with the local police, and Frank Castle, with a higher quality adaptation of the character because of the 5-year between movies. But Spider-Man Brand New Day is not an origin. It's not an ordinary superhero movie. It's the transition of being different and brand new Spider-Man, something that has not been touched upon in earlier installment, finally accepting that he is different, both the character and the movies. When the credits rolled, I wasn't excited for Spider-Man's future. I was worried about it, because few superheroes have carried as much cultural weight as Spider-Man, and I and many others can agree on that, which is why we can accept that Captain America's movie can feature the other heroes because of the character's leadership while still conflicting between the main character's ideals in their own movie. But when you do something like that to a hero like Spider-Man, you can understand how that rarely translates. The one thing that scares me the most is that when a character like Spider-Man starts sharing the screen with characters like Jean Grey, the Hulk, and Frank Castle on the same movie, not on any movie, but a Spider-Man movie, where it kinda feels like his character is as alienated as Peter Parker's. There are only a handful of Spider-Man movies left with Tom Holland. Every one of them is precious. So why does it feel like they're already preparing me for everyone else's future? Like putting the main focus on reintroducing characters that hasn't been put into screen in a while, and introducing characters that would most likely have a major part in the universe. In that near future, when you will tell people what movie they were introduced in, they would say, in a Spider-Man movie. Especially with a bigger role like being the main villain in a Spider-Man movie. Which is the main problem I have with the current Spider-Man franchise. I'm afraid. Because at what point does a Spider-Man movie stop being about Peter Parker? With the movie, it stops being Spider-Man the role model and more on Spider-Man the hero, which made it harder for me to resonate with this movie. Sure, the actions are there, the story and pacing is there, but I guess what I'm really looking for is just a solo, intimate moment with Peter Parker, alone, which one of the things the movie lack. Because somewhere between introducing a new trilogy, a new direction, new heroes, and a much bigger universe, not only did everyone forget about Peter Parker, I forgot about Peter Parker. Or perhaps the movie did too.